Hey guys, welcome to the Sunday Night Webinar. I hope you're doing well and having a good Sunday wherever you are in the world. And yeah, we're just doing our usual stuff that we do and chiming in and saying hello to everyone and have a quick chat. Um, you notice with me, it's the same old. Garth's got a new background, so I mean, he'll probably tell you why. I mean, you guys know anyway, but
Mm.
yeah, I'm like, oh, geez, he's usually seeing the background, but I'm like, well, so um, yeah, good to see you, Garth. What's been happening in your neck of the woods? I know you're moving, so that's probably
Yeah,
why.
well, I'm actually still in my office, but facing the different wall now, and I've had to make a makeshift. I've still got my chair, but I don't have a desk anymore. So I've used a whole big contraption here to set up the computer, and all I've got is the MacBook, nothing else. I don't even have the webcam, don't have the microphone, don't have anything. So it's real ghetto right now. So, but
It
that's
actually
what you
it actually
do.
sounds okay. It's only got like a little sort of you can tell
Echo.
that you're in a room. It's like a bit of an echo. Not really an echo. It's just like you can tell that you're kind of like the sound's kind of like bouncing off something. You can tell like it's
Yeah,
an echo, but it's
little
not quite an
gaping
echo.
walls. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But other than that, there's no and apart from the light, not really much light.
good. Mm.
Light's
Yeah,
kind of
I think
but
there's
other than
just
that,
one light up there. That's
it's
all
no
good.
different. It works
Yeah,
perfect.
but next week, most likely I'll be doing it from a slightly different location. So that'll
Yeah.
be, I've got to set that up. So just one step at a time with that, and we'll see how the video goes next week. So yeah, I should be okay with the internet, but I just got to try out these different things. But yeah, today I'm trying. I've got this new stand. It's like a stand that you put your computer on, like the MacBook, and it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like an elevated platform, and it's really minimal. And you just sit the MacBook on it, and it doesn't fall off because it's got little tiny curly bits at the front, and it just sits it up nicely. So I'm trying that out. It's pretty good. I think this was like one of the cheap ones you could get from like a cheap shop. They make really expensive ones, like $150 for these like MacBook holder things, kind of things. But yeah, it does the job. So that's the techie side. What else has been happening? I think fuel prices dropped a little bit. I love talking about prices. So fuels went down like 20 cents. I think I saw $2 for fuel right now, which was a relief. Um, Also, we're getting a lot of. I think can't remember. Did we talk about the politics last week? Did we talk about the?
Yeah,
I
we
think it
did.
was the referendum. Did we mention that?
Yeah, we did. We talked
Oh, we
about
did.
that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that the referendum happened, and funny enough, the government employees got offered 5 days paid leave to, if they need to take personal time off because of the vote not going their way. It was
How
actually on
does
the
that
front
work?
of the newspaper. The newspapers out here. It was actually a thing. Yeah. So if they were grieving because they didn't get they wanted voted yes and it didn't happen, so they were personally grieving from that. So that personal grieving was now paid, and this
Week's work.
went. Yeah, it was a real thing, and it just made headlines out there. That's like the clown world that we live in over here. And we've got a lot of bushfires going on right now. So it's very like hot. Tomorrow's going to be 33, and that's like not hot like is in Thailand, because I know how I can imagine how hot it gets over there when you tell us. But it is getting hotter. I think it was like 31 today. I think it's 33 tomorrow. But then we get like these gusty winds, kind of like the ones, I suppose, I don't know, westerlies or something like that. But they cause the fires. Once the fires start, then they get out of control. So we're seeing like fires everywhere. So yeah, it's going to be pretty hot and hot summer, I think, and there's going to be a lot of fires going on all over the place. So I mean, we've either got floods or we've got fires. That seems to
Mm.
be the thing. And I think the other thing I heard was they were building a desalination plant. here in
Okay.
Queensland. Did I talk to you about that?
Whereabouts? No, whereabouts
No,
is that?
I think it's somewhere in Brisbane, Queensland. I have to find the article, right?
They're not cheap.
What's interesting about this is not too long ago, it's like everyone's got this short memory, right? We've already built a desalination plant. Last time we had like a drought was in the last 10 years, we had this drought that lasted a long time. And what happened was they went, oh, how are we going to fix this drought? We need water. All right, let's build some desalination plant. Now, I think it was more than one, but I definitely remember one. They could have done 2 or 3, I'm not sure. But and it was somewhere between Gold Coast and Brisbane. Anyway, they built it. It took them like 3 years to build it. And they actually built it, and then the drought was over and the floods came and devastated everything, right? But they still had this desalination plant. And if for guys that don't know what desalination plant is, it's where they take the water out of the ocean, take this and make it drinkable. Basically, that's what they do. Anyway, this desalination plant was like $1 billion. That's $1,000 million to build this desalination plant. Anyway, and then it went, what happened? It got mothballed. So they built it, the rains came, and they didn't need the water anymore, right? So then they mothballed it. And as far as I know, they never actually got it going. So I'll have to look into it. But now they're talking about building another desalination plant. And I'm like thinking there's just some person sitting there going, hey, why don't you build a desalination plant? And $1 billion later or more, maybe it's 2 billion this time, they build it, plenty of money, everyone makes money. And then, oh no, we don't need it anymore. But yeah, this is a crazy clown world that we live in. So there's a couple of interesting things that's been going on this week.
Yeah, well, there's Australia's a rich country. There's plenty of money to go around. We're giving people 5 days off. So those jobs in the government, they're nice and cushy.
Oh, they're wonderful jobs.
I had a mate who was in the government. Sadly, he's passed away now. But he used to tell me that he used to just rock up. He used to have at least on a daily, this is what he'd do. He'd have at least 1 day off every fortnight, or maybe even 2. So he'd do like 2 days off in that week, and then there was a whole next week he'd turn up the whole week. And he reckons it's the cushiest job ever. He reckons the only thing is you not to get fired, or don't steal anything, and you never get fired. And he loved it, and he was on good money. He was on he started on like 50 plus, and then he got a promotion, and then he told me he was on like 80.
Yeah,
this is going back about 10 years ago, and he used to go to every holidays. He'd go to Vietnam, for a month. That was his thing. And I said to him, how much coin you on? He said, 80 plus. And I said, he goes, yeah. I said, that's why he wants to go to Vietnam or Bali to retire, because he had the coin coming in. He was just saving it. But sadly, he passed away. So it's just, but he was on good coin. Anyway, just we're just going to talk a little bit about
crypto.
Well, the price of Bitcoin's doing well actually this week, which is good news.
New highs. New highs.
Which is great, because we did hit 30, but it's sort of pulled back a bit now. But we it was 30 earlier today, actually, to be honest.
30 previous to that,
yeah, and now it's 4 hours later, just under 30. So good news for Bitcoin, and as you can see there, that's a nice little what do you call it, kill there. But 49% BTC dominance, which is good actually. That's quite high. Normally it's like 46, and there's 1.17 trillion market cap. So Good to see Bitcoin up again and this little rise here. But yeah, keep buying it. Just keep doing it. Do what we do because it's going to be it's like anything. It's just going to take many years for it to hit all time highs, but it eventually will. Pascal mentioned the hang on. Pascal mentioned that there was a. It's funny though because this is actually new. It's new, but it's popping up. These things. What I'm seeing is, I'm noticing is I don't know about you because I get emails and stuff, and this one's an airdrop to Open Trade Exchange. It looks like a DeFi project. Could be like a futures thing. I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't registered for it, but they're doing a 50 million worth airdrop. You can register now. But if you just go and have a look at it, so there's this race on. Okay, there's this race on here. OTX, fastest blockchain with actual use case own blockchain CX and our actual use case to own. All right, and yeah, so it's looking like so now that like FTX is like gone, right? I mean, I think FTX is still up. I don't use it, but it'll never be the same if it's still going legally. But this is what I'm saying. Like these this new project here just looks like another project that looks like it's got big backers behind it. See, so there's this race now to fill that void of FTX. So yeah, it doesn't surprise. I've seen a couple of them pop up, but usually they start with an airdrop, which is it's like these new layer ones, right? These new smaller layer ones. They all start with an airdrop. I mean, we saw it with ZK Sync. We saw it with Optimistic. I can't even say it. Optimism.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw with a ton of other ones, obviously with Uniswap, that was kind of like an exchange, but it's, same sort of thing. So yeah, they give you a whole bunch of free coins and get the word out there. And that's kind of like how they spread the news, the exposure for it. Everyone just jumps on board with these things because they want to obviously get the free coins. But obviously the kickback is the exposure they get, right? And if it does take off, those coins could be worth a lot of money. See, time's ticking. Their rewards, 55 million worth of airdrop. So it's like looks like it's like a legit. Already claimed my share. I haven't claimed my share yet, but so that's an option if you want to get free tokens. It looks like it's a bit of a big deal, and who knows? It could be like another Uniswap. It won't be on Uniswap's level, but Uniswap was like, we woke up with $1,200 worth of free tokens, and those people with Optimism and all that, they got into the thousands, several thousands, and they had multiple airdrops. So I'm not saying that this is on that level, but with enough backers and with enough money, and obviously FTX is now sort of done its dash. There could be another leader that's pop up, and this is FTX because I don't know, OTX. It's like OTX, FTX, didn't really take much to kind of think of that name, but it just makes me think, right? The crypto space, it's like there's supposed to be this new movement, this whole new thing in crypto, but really there's a whole bunch of dumb people in crypto, and there's even dumber people that are into crypto. So you got the different levels of dumb, right? And it doesn't surprise me one bit because I used to see all this stuff at the conferences and stuff that I used to go to, and it was just the level of dumbness. All right, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Because I remember when I went to the Bitcoin conference and I saw this one guy and he got up on stage and he was talking about, because everyone was trying to. This is the height of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was going crazy. It's like going back 2 or 3 years, 4 years ago. So he gets up on stage and he says, "Oh, look, we've got this great new art collection that's coming out, and we're going to put it on the blockchain." So here I am at the back, and I'm watching this guy in the front, and there's probably about 3 or 4, 500 people in there, because you could go in and out of the main room, because they had obviously, you've been at conferences, they have like a timetable and everyone, and then you can see who's speaking, and then you can go and sit down, and then when John McAfee came on, the whole place was packed, So I got on there, and I was this is like, this guy was just a schmuck. He gets on there and goes, "Oh, this is the art, this is the art that we're going to sell, and it's going to go on the blockchain." And I felt like going up there and smacking this guy on the head, because why do we need art to go on the blockchain, specifically his art? It's about was they were launching some collection, which they probably just bought off Etsy for $2 for the collection, printed it out and said that this is going to go on the blockchain. Now we just need a whole bunch of schmucks or dumb people to buy into that. And that obviously we're going to be buying their tokens, so they get rich on this project that they are going to put art on the blockchain. You know what I mean? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I just thought to myself, and I looked around and thought, there's a lot of smart people here that look smart but are actually dumb, and there's a lot of dumb people here that are actually smart, because they're the dumb people are the ones that are not buying into this rubbish. They just come to these things and they just see what's going on, and are kind of like real conservative and like, well, okay, this is interesting. It's the smart people that are dumb, because they get into it and they buy into this hype, and it's going to be the latest and greatest thing. So that's just, it realizes that, and this is in every industry too. It's not just crypto. It's not just specific to crypto. It's in every industry. It's the same record getting played. You get a whole bunch of people that come in. They want to start a new project. They coin it with the buzzwords, AI, and then they launch this new project, and it's going to be the latest and greatest. They pay a bunch of influencers to shill the shit out of it, and then they hire a bunch of figureheads to come and sit on stage with them, so they can take all the photos. They run a bunch of press releases in Bloomberg and all these other things, right? So they can use that badge, give them credibility, and then they pump the shit out of it. And then when the tokens go live, they're dumping, and they make millions, tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. So this is the stuff that's going on in crypto, and there's a whole lot of dumb people that are just buying into this stuff, and there's even dumber people underneath them. So, yeah, don't just get carried away with all this stuff that you'd see at those events, or even everything that you see. A lot of it's just dumb shit, and you buy into it. You're gonna just you're just gonna do a lot of your money, because now you look at all the NFT projects. Just go on OpenSea and just go and have a look at the value. A lot of these NFT projects, what they're worth now. They're worth like 90%, 95% of their value has dropped. So if you're sitting and you still got a Bored Ape Yacht Club, which used to cost you, I think, like 100 ETH, I would hate to see what they're worth now. But then again, there was, if you got that type of money to buy a Bored Ape Yacht Club for 100 ETH, you got more money than cents. So these NFTs, was a Bored Ape Yacht Club, it's not going to change the world. It's just a useless bit of that's going to go, okay. How much do you think they're worth now? They used to be worth 100, 110 ETH at the peak. What do you think they're worth now? Have a guess.
Well, the market's dropped like 80%. So, I'm guessing 10 ETH, 5 ETH.
Yeah, well, you were generous. This is the floor though. Okay, so this is the bottom, so you can scrape it in. You can buy one for 26 ETH. So that's rock bottom, guys. 26 ETH. They were 110 ETH at the time. So, if you look at all times, there you go, all times. Average price was 170 ETH. The average price. Now that's average, so that's probably not the floor. I guess, yeah. I guess, well, that is the floor. That was the floor back then. It was 170 ETH. Look at it now. Yeah. So look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. People were buying these things for 100 ETH. Now look at it. It's 25 ETH. One ETH's what, 1,600? You're taking a big hit.
Yeah, and ultimately they were buying something that really didn't have any value, and that's what that chart is showing, that decline.
Yeah.
So there was no, like, I think we've talked about this before, but let's say when you buy like an asset that's actually producing income, let's say, that asset will fall to a price, and then it kind of has an inbuilt floor price built in. For example, let's say you've got a house for rental and it's a 2-bedroom unit or something like that, 2-bedroom unit for rental. So it will have a certain value, because what will happen is as that price drops in the market for whatever reason, at some point people want to rent out that 2-bedroom unit. So that will be a certain amount of money per week that they're willing to pay for that unit. And at some stage, that might mean that they're making an 8% net return on their money over 12 months. So that's a good investment. So therefore, that property might be worth $200,000 or maybe $400,000. So there is a value built into, they're never going to go to zero. Whereas these things can technically go to zero because they're not producing any income. They have no other assets backing them at all.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. The Warren Buffett said it perfectly. He said that once the cream rises to the top and the shit goes to the bottom, and that's I don't know the exact terms he used, but basically that's what he meant. And he says that anything that is out there, any asset that's out there will always reach its intrinsic value. That's what the words he said. It's an intrinsic value, and that's like the real value that it's worth out there in the market, what it's really worth. And like you said, Garth, these things keep dropping because there's no real intrinsic value. The only value that this has is a bunch of people that are all just holding. It doesn't do anything like Bitcoin does something. Like Bitcoin will never go to zero because it does something very, very valuable. Yeah, it'll drop down. It could drop. It'll drop like it has, but it's never going to go to zero. So it's something.
It does have a utility.
It does, exactly. It's not a utility.
Yeah, you can use it to transfer this Bitcoin asset from you to someone else, and you don't need any permission. That's its utility. And that alone, even though it may not be fast, sure, there's different protocols for that, but it works and it's solid, hasn't been hacked as such, and it just works. You just remember your seed phrases, and then you manipulate whatever wallet you got, and you can send Bitcoin anywhere and receive Bitcoin. That's the magical thing about Bitcoin, and that's its utility.
Yeah, as opposed to something like a Bored Ape Yacht Club, it's just a glorified JPEG that has no utility, has no intrinsic value. I mean, the intrinsic value the intrinsic value is just a whole bunch of other supposedly smart people, but they're not really smart. They're pretty much dumb, and they're just holding it because they're probably just out of fear because they're too scared that if everyone just keeps on jumping ship, it's going to keep on going further down and down. But you'll get those smart people that go, you know what, I'm out. I want to save what I can. So they're going to bail. So that's the thing with the crypto space. This is how this whole thing with the crypto space is there's no intrinsic value, no real value. Like a house will always have value because it's a physical thing. People can, like you said, will want to live in it. There's a whole bunch of houses around that give it value, and then obviously the location gives it value. So the geographic location of itself gives it value. Okay, so you can be the most shit house in the best neighborhood that's really kind of centrally located in the city. It's always going to be worth something, even though it's a shit house. So that's the thing. This thing doesn't have any intrinsic value. So something to think about. But it also reminds me of that these days, it's not really hard to make to become, really, you can become insanely rich in this space, because I was watching this video today and it was really fascinating on what he said. And his video was dumb people are making millions. Dumb people are becoming millionaires, and it was it caught my eye because it was like, how the F are these dumb people becoming millionaires? And this is kind of like off topic, but it just goes to show you that you can become insanely wealthy in crypto space, as well as he's was talking about YouTube, and what he meant and how they did it was this. And you could do that. You could apply this to crypto if you want. What he did was he was at one point. I'll put the link up, but you can just search it in YouTube and you'll find it, because it's a pretty out there title and it kind of makes sense. So if you go to YouTube, and basically he was broke one stage, right? And he was like, well, why the hell are these? Was it dumb people making millions or becoming millionaires or something to that effect. And yeah, it's something to that effect. You'll see it, but I mean, I can't find it now. It's probably millionaires. But anyway, what he said was this: the reason why these dumb people are becoming millionaires is because when he was broke, he was very smart. He was a programmer, and he was like into very like pretty smart. This is it here. Why dumb people easily become millionaires. I think he done another video that's very similar, but that's, yeah, okay. And what he said was, when he was broke, he had all these degrees, or not these degrees, but he was pretty smart. He could program, and he had all these different, he was quite advanced and educated, right? But he was still broke. And then he realized, why these, because then he went to this seminar, and then this guy got on stage and he did this PowerPoint presentation, which had about 20 slides, and they had spelling errors, and they read like really clipboard art style, really mundane 3-year-old, 4-year-old stuff, right? And he was showing people how he become rich. And then at the end of the video, at the end of the presentation, he logs into his bank account, and it showed like $3 or $4 million in cash. And then at that point, this guy here, you can see him in the middle of the screen, goes, oh, that's it. I'm done with this. I'm going to find out how these people become rich. So he bought all his shit, and this is what it was. And this is what's happening in social media, all right? To become insanely rich, it's very simple. All you got to do is you've got to get a whole bunch of people dumber than you, okay? Whole bunch of people dumber than you to buy all your shit, right? And how do you do it? Well, you first of all have to get their attention, okay? Because that's what what's your name said. You have to get their attention. So how they're doing it is they can either build a community, or run ads to build a community, or just start a YouTube channel or whatever, right? TikTok. The number one TikTok guy, he makes like 26 million a year, the African dude. And he's never says a word. Why? Because he has an audience. So this is what this dumb dude did. He built an audience, and then he threw something at it, and they all bought it. Because think about this. Who's gonna make more money, right? One guy, there's a best salesman in the world. He can sell anything, and you just give him anything, and he can make, millions, or he can be very successful at it, no matter what it is. He can sell a pen, and he's got 10 people, right? Because his audience is 10 people. Then you've got a dumbass that plays video games, and he's got 10 million people, and he knows nothing about sales, right? Who's going to win when it comes to selling something? The guy with the best skills in the world with 10 people, or the dumbass who's never sold a thing with 10 million people? You know what I mean? I can't hear you, but anyway, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Sorry. Yeah, I totally agree. Obviously the guy that's got the audience is just going to hit it out of the park because they follow him, and he says, "Here, buy this or check this out." They're going to do that. But
Exactly.
the salesperson is limited.
Yeah, he's only got 10 people he can pitch. So he says, this is what this guy did, built an audience, whatever computer games or whatever it was. I mean, we know as well, you can sell them, your T-shirt. That's what a lot of these guys do. They sell them T-shirts and merch. Mr. Beast does that. This other guy, Greatness, he does it. They sell them merch because people will resonate. They'll love what you're doing, whatever it is, and then they'll buy your merch. You make a shitload of money with that. Then they can say, oh, you know what? You can get all the latest stuff that I don't post, and then you can join my Patreon for $1 a month or $5 a month. If you got 10 million subscribers, at least probably 100,000 of those are going to join your Patreon for $1 a month because it's only $1. It's nothing, right? All of a sudden now you got 100,000 coming in a month, and then so forth. And then not to mention you just info product, $100 product, $1,000 product, and that's what this guy did. So it just goes to prove that you can be dumb and you can make a shitload of money, and that's what this guy did. He studied this guy, then started to do exactly what he did. And another thing he did was, he said this, don't worry about, I'm guilty of this myself. He said, don't worry about thinking about the procrastinating, and it's all about speed. He said, you've got to, a lot of people go and analyze stuff and then look at it, and then they, kind of sit on it for long. And trust me, I'm guilty on this. And then they don't do anything, and then comes around to it, they eventually do something, right? What he said was, what's more important is the speed. That's the most important thing. When you see an idea, and this is what this guy did, he acted on it really fast. He acted on it within only a couple of days, whereas other people that are a lot smarter will act on it within a month. He already acted on it within 2 or 3 days, and just bang, already done it. And then he's already implemented it, and now it's already making him money, right? And then he does another thing, and it's all about speed. So this is where you can make, that's why you saw so many things in crypto, right? And we saw this with Pink Sale. You remember this, Garth? When we were looking at these meme coins and stuff, to see what was profitable, in our Discord to help, hey guys, this meme coin, this meme coin. We'd see all these meme coins pop up. They'd literally be popping up overnight. Remember when Trump was like going for election? There would all be all these Trump ones. Then there was these Pepe clones. Remember all them?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. People would jump on a trend and they would just implement it fast. And those guys that did that, obviously it wasn't going to last, but they did it quickly. And they did the Pepe coin, the Trump coin. And some of those raises were, a couple of hundred BNB to 1,000. I know one I followed, it was probably like 2,000 BNB. And they were just meme coin, nothing projects. They had no utility. But because they jumped on it straight away and just implemented it really fast while the trend was hot, they cashed in. So, it's all about speed, and it's all about action and implementation. So, you can make money in crypto. You can, you just, or anything really. It doesn't have to be crypto.
You just got to recognize that trend and know that it's going to happen and buy. It's no different to, seeing an opportunity and then buying into it, and then you see the opportunity play out and it goes your way, and then you sell at all-time highs. It's the same sort of principle. And whether it's charting, or whether it's fundamental, or whether it's news related, or whether it's some other type of trend, that's really what I suppose business is and making money is, it's usually related to a trend or some sort of knowledge that gets out there and people discover it, and it might be fleeting. It might only last a year or two and disappear, or it might turn into an industry. You never know.
Well, this is exactly what happens with these meme coins. Those people that jumped onto Shiba Inu, people that jumped onto Pepe, Floki, obviously Doge back in the days. Those people, you can't tell me that all of them were smart. There are a lot of dumb people that bought into those things and became multi-millionaires from Shiba Inu and Floki and Pepe. Remember that one guy who bought Pepe for, I think it was like $6 or $7, or no, it was $100. It turned $100 into like 10 million or some stupid amount, right?
Yeah.
He was just a dumbass. Oh no, he wasn't a dumbass. He was actually smart, but because he tried over 3,000 coins. But there would have been a lot of people that would have jumped onto that Pepe thing and even Shiba Inu early and became millionaires. The only reason why they became millionaires wasn't because they were smart. It's because they saw it happen. They were just average people. They weren't smart. They jumped on it and they took action. That wasn't speed. And it wasn't nothing to do with intelligence. Nothing to do with intelligence.
No. You literally, an example could be, here's an example. Let's say it's winter, right? And no one wants to buy a fan because it's cold, right? They want a heater in winter. They don't want a fan. Let's say you go around and you buy up all the fans and, you take your time, you spend your money, you get all these fans. Sometimes you get them off Facebook Marketplace. You collect them, put them in your garage. When summer comes around and then you start selling fans, when it starts getting hot and people are like, oh, I need a fan. There you go. You've now supplying people that are hot and want a fan, and you're supplying it to them, and you've been buying them up all year, and now you can sell them and make money. That's just one example of buying something when no one wants it. It has a value attached to it, except that the demand's not there until certain conditions are met. In this case, it's seasonal, but this can also apply in crypto or any other type of thing. There's like a demand that happens, and it can be bigger than. I suppose that's how the bull runs in crypto happened. The demand was there; it was huge when the last two bull runs. Whereas the demand is really low now, and there will be another bull run at some stage. And the same thing will happen as what last time happened.
Yeah, well, I remember when we were doing ICOs. Remember that? And that was just going bonkers because we'd be throwing anything at anything, and it would just at least minimum 2x, bare minimum. Even the shitty ones, the worst ones were doubling our money, and the good ones, like the normal ones, like the average ones were like 5xing, and the really good ones were 10x, 20xing, and that was good to ride those things. We sold out, and but the what do you call it? The interest for those sort of things, it was just fever pitch. It was crazy. And
the same thing happened with the second bull run with DeFi. Like it was ICOs the first time, and then with the second bull run, it was DeFi. And it lasted longer because there's lots of interesting experiments with different protocols and different platforms. And you didn't know whether they're going to pan out or not, but a lot of people were making money. And sure, at the end, a lot of them crashed, and even a lot of exchanges collapsed and that sort of stuff. But there was a lot of people that made money with those sorts of things. So it was, very interesting.
Yeah, so that's the thing, guys. You can make money in anything. It's just recognizing that, finding a niche, finding your little thing. Doesn't have to be in crypto, and then taking action on it. Like I said last couple sessions ago, what I'm finding is a lot of people are selling on Facebook Marketplace, and a lot of people are actually selling on Facebook themselves. If you want to find out products that you want to find and sell, all you got to do is go to Facebook and search on it, right? And then if you've got a good, if you're in a good niche, or if that product is actually pretty popular, you'll see a sponsored ad. Okay, this is the news feed, all right? So when you see the sponsored ad, you know that someone's spending money because they're putting that ad in front of you. Whatever you're trying to, if you're looking for a caravan, you're looking to get Christmas toys, you're looking to buy, a gift, whatever, you're going to start to see all these things pop up. Well, what you do is you go into the ad, right? Click on the date of the ad, and then it'll give you the actual full-blown ad, right? Then you just comment, message them on Messenger. Just click the message button, and they'll get an automatic response, even though you just say nothing. You can delete it afterwards. Leave a comment, and then just go to their Facebook profile. You just click on their name. It'll take you to their page. And then you can click like if you want. Doesn't really matter. Follow. Facebook tracks all that. And then immediately go back to your feed, hit refresh, and you'll see how many ads pop up. There will be tons.
Yeah. That it's almost instantaneous.
Yep.
You click on an ad, and the very even if you don't leave, maybe open up a new page or something. But as soon as you come back to your news feed, scroll down to more, the next ad is related to what you just looked at.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will actually, this is how I'm finding suppliers for some of the stuff that I'm doing. I didn't know this, but there's a lot of suppliers actually within Thailand for the stuff that some of the stuff that I'm buying for the missus. And I didn't know this because we've been buying our stuff from China. But Thailand has a really big industry, especially with the textiles. Thailand has a very good textile industry, which I didn't know of. I know back in the day when I was had my business, going back probably about 15 years ago, one of the guys I knew, he'd come to Thailand all the time looking for motorbike parts. He'd get parts, all this what they call CNC parts for your motorbike. So he was buying CNC parts for your brake. Those, when you fall off your bike, you got the the brake levers that are attached for your brakes. They're the first things that break. So what he was doing was he was going from Australia to Thailand, and he was buying all the Kawasaki, Suzuki, Honda dirt bikes, all the CNC stuff, really good quality stuff, and basically anything that broke, assembly parts and stuff. And this stuff was bloody. You'd hate to even fathom how much money these little brake things are. They were like $100, $150 for a genuine part. So he'd go to Thailand, buy a CNC one exactly the same, because they weren't knockoffs. They were just exactly the same from the same mold, but they were just a CNC part, better quality. And he was buying them for like $2 or $3, and he was flipping them for like $30. And people would buy them, and they'd go, "This quality is great. It's great. It's CNC aluminium. It's not like poured." So it was proper good quality aluminium that's been CNC'd from an actual machine, which is basically the process of making the part out of a block, not pouring. And he'd sell these things like hotcakes. So that's what he was doing, coming to Thailand and getting those small parts. And I asked him, "Where are you getting these parts?" He goes, "Thailand." And I said, "I never knew that." He goes, "Yeah, there's a whole industry." And I said to him, "Oh, so you come to Thailand to get the parts, you get a grease and oil change, eh?" Because he was married, but he'd get both done. He'd get the parts, and then he'd get himself a service as well. So it was funny. So you just don't know about this stuff, right? You just gotta, once you sort of get in there and sort of figure out, sort of products and stuff, you can make yourself. Well, that's what I recommend, guys. If you want to get some extra cash, get yourself, go on Facebook and have a bit of a mutt around, and then start clicking on ads and stuff that you're interested in. And Facebook will show you a heap of other ads. People are spending money in that area. So that people are making money. Otherwise, they wouldn't run ads, right? Then just go to, Alibaba or 1688. Okay, about two or three webinars ago, I showed you a whole full tutorial how to do that, and buy the stuff. And the example I gave you a couple of weeks ago was Christmas lights. You buy the shit and then you go and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. So you get your Christmas lights for $1 or $2, and then when Christmas comes, you just buy a box. You might be $100. Might cost you $100 plus shipping, $150. But then you're flipping them for $30 a pop, right? And you say free pickup, and they can come and or whatever, go to whatever, figure it out. $30 a pop. So you're spending $2 or $3 to get them, and you sell them for $30. And right up to Christmas, you'll sell tons of them because, I know in Australia they go crazy about that shit. So, you could be start doing some research now, or just even get off Alibaba. Start looking on eBay or start looking on Facebook Marketplace if you want to make some extra cash. That's the way I'd do it. If I was back in Australia. So yeah, just some things there I just wanted to talk about.
Cool. I just want to share this one before we finish up, which is, let's have a look. Load up my screen. Okay, you should see that there. So, okay, can you see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're looking at Chainlink.
Wow.
Right, so the rank is 14. So we've talked about Chainlink a lot. It's up 17% today. Now, if we have a look at, this was on the 11th of October. There's a bit of a rally, and that did really well, better sort of than Bitcoin during the sort of same period. And so it's done really well. Now, I think it's to do with Link is doing something with Swift. So that's basically Swift is like a banking service for international transactions. And so they're trying to, tokenize all that sort of stuff. And part of Chainlink, they were doing testing of Australian dollar stablecoin by the Australian and New Zealand banking group using Chainlink's solution. So that was interesting. And also, I think they announced a mainnet launch of the CCIP protocol on Ethereum Layer 2 on Arbitrum 1. So this is, very interesting. And obviously the price has gone up considerably. So it was $9.26. You can see that back in September, it was about $7. So it's been very stable, really, like September. Even if we go back three months, you can see how it was $8 back in July, as low as $6, $8, and now it's $9.50. So there's a lot going on with Chainlink. If you haven't already got some of that, check it out. So yeah, that was interesting. I just thought I'd share that, just saying it's doing well.
Yeah, well, Chainlink's all-time high is $52. So sometimes you got to sit on these things for a long time to get any type of.
Chainlink has utility. That's the thing about it. It's actually connecting different blockchains, and it involves providing a service. And as far as I know, they pay for that service, and it's an important service that you have pricing from, one they do the whole, basically like oracles. It's just a pricing database. They get the prices from one and prices from the other, and they go across different networks. So it is extremely important for that service, and that's why they have value to it.
Yeah, well, here it's got Chainlink's revenue is 1.3 million. They got 30 employees, and apparently they make 3,000 to 4,000. It says Chainlink makes 3,562 a day in a single month. Chainlink normally close to about 100 grand a month. So yeah, there's a utility there. They got actual really staff to pay. So it's that does, like you said, what we talked about earlier. It does have intrinsic value, the coin, because it actually does something, and they got tons of clients. So yeah, long term, it's probably a good coin to hold. I mean, that's how old it is. We were in the ICO. I remember buying Chainlink in the ICO. It was a long time ago, several years ago. But Obviously when the price was up, I sold mine. Chainlink ICO price. It was fuck all. 11 cents. 11 cents. 11 cents, dude, and it went to $52.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So the hard cap was 32 million when it launched. 350 million tokens sold for 11 cents each, which brought the hard cap to 32 million. So now, if you look at Chainlink, we call it so market cap, 6 billion. So that has been one of the success stories of Chainlink. Now, mind you, this Chainlink has been around. That's how long ago it was. It was 2000 and I can't remember, but it was 2000, maybe 2017. I can't remember, but I have to Google it. But I remember being in the ICO buying it because it was one of those ones that was it was 2021. Yeah, it was one of the ones that Bellina he really plugged this hard because he had a connect, and he was heavily into Chainlink. That was one of his biggest calls, and he was like pumping this thing. But mind you, it was one of those coins that did deliver and was a big deal. But it was massive. Every time he was talking about it, I think Chainlink was like one of his top 3. He was always talking about Chainlink. I remember it.
Yeah, actually, I've got the stats. I've got that stats for you if you want it on screen now for Chainlink with the ICO. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was the ICO ended. It was basically 10 cents, just under 11 cents, and the all-time ROI was 484x.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the current ROI is 85x, but the all-time was 480. It's like nearly 500x, and they raised 3 million. Yeah, and that was the ICO stage. Yeah, interesting. So that did well.
Wow, that goes to, I just crunched the numbers. Based off today's ROI, you only needed to own $1,200 worth of Chainlink at the ICO stage.
Yeah.
$1,200, you'd have $1 million. Now, of course, it's all hypothetical now. It's all hearsay now, but yeah, $1,000 of Chainlink, you'd have just shy of $1 million.
Yeah.
Just goes,
and I think that's why ICO's back at that first run. That was why it was so big. Like it was just great.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, even when those big ones hit, like Chainlink, Wabi was big. There was a couple other ones that we were all into. I can't remember the names. They were just so. There was Chainlink. There was another one. It starts with OneChain. OneChain was another big one. OneChain. But there was these ones that were just kept on getting hammered till the hills. To the hills. Filecoin was another one that was big. That was massive back in the day. A lot of these bloody tokens are they're still around, but some of them are just dropped up the earth. I'm just scrolling down my feed and going back through memory lane here. It's crazy. But yeah, that was it. As soon as some of these things just went off, and some of them did a 20x, 30x, 40x, 50x, it was on. It was like, holy shit. Everyone was getting in on it.
Yeah. I've actually got I've got some of those top ones on screen now. Can you see that? This is all-time high ROI. So these are like the top ones. So I don't know, forget the first one. Some of these ones we may not know about, Time Coin Protocol or whatever. Some of them are off the charts. But there's one, Impulse X IPX. That was a 25,000x. Ethereum is the biggest one, right? So all-time high, 15,000x. That's millionaires, like million people. That was 2014. It was like, well, yeah, that's a bit crazy.
Ethereum. Who would have thought? Imagine that. Imagine buying Ethereum. What was the ICO? It was like 31 cents.
31 cents, yeah. And then remember IOTA?
Yeah,
So
that was big.
Yeah, IOTA was crazy. Like even all-time high, 9,644x. I mean, it's only 252x now. But yeah, that was pretty wild. Omni, HPO. I mean, some people don't even recognize these names, but you would recognize BNB, 15 cents. ROI currently is like 1,429x, but the all-time was at 4,500. Kate Coin, Axie Infinity was 10 cents and went to all-time high. Yeah, 1,643x. And Cardano, Solana. So you can see a lot of these ones we've talked about. You talk about a lot in the past. These were the ones that were ICOs and just, were launched and, still are around and made the all-time high was huge. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that was wild times. Absolutely wild times. There's Chainlink there in the bottom.
Yeah, Chainlink down the list. Because at the moment this is just all-time high, not current. Yeah, like if we switch it to ROI current based on now, you got basically Ethereum, BNB, Omni, which really I don't know too much about that one. It's on the paid network. It was a launch pad that did that one. HPO, Hippocrat, IOTA, Polygon, GAT, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, Quant.
A couple of household names there as well.
Yeah, don't know Shiba Saga, DigiDAO, Kate Coin, Cosmos Hub, which is Atom, 66x. So yeah, this is why you get on some of these projects. Even Axie Infinity, even though it's not all great right now, it's still 43x.
Well, I remember when when I first did my first ICO, it was about I missed a BNB by about a month and a bit. So when BNB dropped, I didn't know about it. I only got into ICOs like a month and a bit later. But I was there for the Tron one, and this is when it really kind of hit me because Tron was there when that launched, and they raised I think it was like 15 million in about 10 seconds. And it like literally, it was all like, Chinese and stuff as well. The what's the names on all these rich buddies would have been in on it. Yeah. And that's when it really hit me. It was like, what the hell? 15 million. That sort of money back then was unheard of.
Yeah.
Selling 15 million worth of tokens in 10 seconds. I was pressing the button trying to buy it. It was all over Red Rover. And then I thought, hang on a second, there's something here. And then obviously, when we sort of got into ICOs a few months later, it was still early on that trend. Which are the good old days.
That's it. But those sort of like now is the time when these projects are coming out. And if you're not sure of the projects, you can always go along with DeFi Llama, like we always talk about. You can have a look at the ones that have a look at the raises. They're not necessarily, I suppose they're centrally funded. They're not like ICOs or an IDO or anything like that. But that there's money thrown at them and those projects will do well. And there's been nearly every day, like, I don't know, 19th of October, there was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was like 4 that came out. One with 22 million. So and a lot of them are just financial type platforms. Like this one was for derivatives called Sim Futures. But that these products are going to most likely come out with a product, and then it's most likely they're going to have their own token. So why not, go through this list? At the moment, I would say DeFi Llama with the raises, when you look at that would be one of the best places to look at, the upcoming projects. They might take between 1 to 3 years, but that someone else is putting their money up to make it happen. And, there's a team to complete that. And then whether or not it's going to be successful after that is whether the market takes it up on it. But they got, at least, they're most likely going to have a token, and there's going to be something there at the end of it, unlike a lot of other projects.
Yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Well, we probably call it a night, and we might come back next week with some more stuff. But I'm just scrolling through my Facebook feed now, and it's just showing me all sorts of shit now that I've just been scrolling through. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. Obviously, coming up to Christmas, people are selling a lot of shit, so you can sell some stuff. Check out Facebook Marketplace. A lot of people buy off Facebook Marketplace, and get some extra coin. Obviously, with crypto, you want to be Bitcoin's if it's starting to hit 30, and if it starts to keep on going up, I think we're going to see a lot of these other small. Well, they're already taking off. So if you look at the chart, you'll see Solana, Cardano, Polygon, Chainlink are up, Toncoin's up. They're all starting. It's all just the same trajectory as Bitcoin, green and up, right? So once you start seeing Bitcoin going over 30 and it keeps on going 30, 40, 50, not 40, 50, 30, 31, 32, 33, you're going to see a lot of these smaller layer ones start to go to levels we haven't seen in a long time. So I know it can be a bit tough, obviously, with Christmas coming up. If you got the extra coin, try to buy some of it, because all I can see now is green. Everything's up. Holy cow. Yeah, got to buy it. That's where you make your money, when you buy it. All right, guys, well, have a good weekend. Obviously, we'll have a replay in the Discord as well. If you're part of that, you can always check it out. And have a good week, Garth. And we'll see you next week.
We will. See you guys. Bye.
Okay, guys. See yous.